Elms College in Chicopee and the New England chapter of the Kosciuszko Foundation are presenting the 18th Annual Polish Film Festival. The series begins Sunday at 2 with a film written and produced by a Turner's Falls native and starring Aidan Turner from Poldark, which airs on PBS's Masterpiece Theater. Carolee McGrath sat down with Carolyn Topor, who is organizing the festival, and filmmaker Robert Krzykowski to learn more.
Well, it has been being shown, the films have been being shown for 18 years. And we're very proud of that because it's not always easy to get the films, and we thought that the people would enjoy seeing Polish films, which you don't see in the theaters. So we have people who go to Poland and get the films for us, and then we show them. And we show them in the month of October, which is Polish American Heritage Month, and so it seems appropriate that that would be a good time to have the film series. The interesting thing is that this year we thought we would launch it having Bob's film this year, and it's going to be great because we're doing it in the afternoon this Sunday on the 29th, and he will be having a question and answer afterwards. So we have been producing this for 18 years, as I said, with Elms College. And they are most gracious because we have the beautiful theater, which comfortable seats, and we generally get almost a full house. I mean, it holds 135 and we get 100 people, so it's great.
Okay, and so Bob, you're kicking off the series. Tell us a little bit about your film.
It's The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. It stars Aidan Turner and Sam Elliott and Ron Livingston. It's just a great, Caitlin Fitzgerald, great cast of people. And it was all shot in Turner's Falls, Massachusetts, and has kind of traveled the world over the last year and a half or so. So it's nice to be able to kind of bring it back home, and it'll be fun.
And this is exciting for you. You grew up in the Pioneer Valley, and now you're doing a film, and you're involved in this, which is part of your heritage as well.
Yeah.
This has to be exciting for you.
It is. I'm grateful that we were invited, and I think it's going to be really fun on Sunday. And it's an interesting movie because it always opens up the conversation to a really wide-ranging series of topics. You never quite know what the audience is going to want to talk about once the movie's over, so I just kind of open it up and let them lead the conversation and answer what they want, so it's fun.
And what drew you to this topic in particular?
I mean, I think that initially I'd kind of started out writing what I thought was going to be an adventure film. It started out like a James Bond movie where this guy kills Hitler in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then I realized that doesn't really leave the movie anywhere to go. And I started thinking about monsters and Hitler being a monster. So what if this guy later in his life fights another monster? And Hitler was spreading a plague of ideas in World War II. So what if the Bigfoot had a literal plague? And so that was kind of my first day of writing the script. These ideas all came together, and I wrote The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot on the title, and just started figuring out what that story would be from there.
What's the response been from audiences?
It shows so great with audiences. We have such a good time, and I think it's unexpected because it's kind of a deep character study, and it's melancholy and sweet, and then it gets totally bombastic and chaotic, and it's kind of just it's a ride of a movie. So I think that it's been really interesting to watch it with all sorts of different types of audiences. We've seen it in genre and horror film festivals, and then we've seen it in very much character-driven indie film festivals, and it plays differently to each audience, so it's been fun.
Carolyn, this must be exciting for you to have, a local film director, writer, who's going to kick off the series for you.
It's absolutely wonderful. When we were thinking about it, I had seen the movie. I had seen a poster of the movie in Ventford Hall, which is also a place where some of the film was shot. And I thought it was two different movies, Hitler and then the Bigfoot. So I decided to watch it. I got a copy of it and I watched it, and I thought, oh my God, maybe because he's. And then I watched the bonus part, where Bob was talking over the film and talking about who's in the film, et cetera, et cetera. And when I found out there was family in the film and that it was, was in Western, up in Turner's Falls, I thought, terrific. So I said to my board, I said, shall we think about inviting him, and they said, well, the worst thing that can happen is he can say no, or he may be working elsewhere and he would like to say no, but he wouldn't be able to. So I think it worked out very well, I think. Yeah. We're looking forward to it.
And this also falls on the 75th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising as well. Tell us a little bit about, I guess that connection with the film festival.
Well, we try to have a theme, okay? And of course, as many people have told me, all of the films that come from Poland are very sad. Well, Poland has had a very sad history. And but it is the 75th anniversary of the Polish uprising, 63 days, and on October 2nd, when we are going to show the film Miasto 44, which means city in 1944, and the city of Warsaw was under siege, and the underground decided that they were going to come out and try to get rid of the Germans. They were hoping that the Russians were going to come from the east and give them a helping hand, but they stood on the other side of the Wisła River and never showed up. And so there were, 300,000 people were killed, and a lot of them were just ordinary citizens. They weren't necessarily the men who had the guns, and so Miasto is about the young people, these 18, 19-year-olds that said that they were going to fight for the freedom from Poland because it was going to be their generation that was going to have to live through it. And of course, Germany came in and they bombed, 85% of what was already bombed. They bombed the rest of it. I mean, they just went and threw the fire bombs in, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah,
from Germany to Stalin.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Polish history. But when you talk about that, and as somebody with Polish heritage, as a young man, and you talked a little bit about, the difficult history that the Polish people have had, and yet they've triumphed, and the resilience.
Oh, absolutely.
That must be really important to you as a young writer, film director, knowing your heritage of just that resilience and strength.
I mean, yeah, it's something to definitely be proud of, and I think that, like you said, a lot of Polish stories tend to be sad, and I think that there's a fairy tale quality to this one that I was trying to dive into some notions of who we are and where we're going, and this character study notion of the thing, and then also use monsters and more mythic elements to try to tell that, and I think that kind of has a Polish tradition.
Yeah. It's a really very, very interesting film. I'm hoping we're going to have a good audience.
And you have 4 films coming up.
Yes,
and your film kicks off?
On Sunday.
On Sunday, okay, which is September 29th at Elms College.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now, we usually don't have them on Sundays, but so the rest of them are going to be on Wednesday nights at Elms at 7 o'clock. And we usually, have a meet and greet afterwards with, the people sort of talk about the film, et cetera, so.
Tell us a little bit about the work that you do with your organization locally.
Well, locally we have various events. We've had art exhibits, we have the film festival, and then in the springtime, because the Kosciuszko Foundation gives over, it's an international organization, and it gives over $1 million worth of scholarships for people to study here in the United States or in Poland. And so we have various events, and in the springtime we have an award ceremony at which we honor and acknowledge these young people who most of them are in graduate school, and they not necessarily are Polish. They might be studying Polish, art history or, whatever, and international law. And so we generally have about 30 young people that are scholarship winners here in New England. And then, of course, there are others throughout the whole country. And there are about 8 chapters of the Kosciuszko Foundation, and we all, tend to have lectures and art exhibits and this sort of thing. So it's more cultural than it is educational. Well, it's educational and cultural.